Welcome, I'm Kinetic Symphony, this is Dave. I hunt down and report on weird and true mysterious stories, from glitches to the supernatural. Case file number 1793, written by HikeRobCT, Chaos in the Morning's Haze, the truck that vanished in a Matrix Daze. 1986. I was a DJ on my college radio station, U of MD, with an early morning time slot. I'd usually leave before dawn and had the roads all to myself. My route was a 2-lane highway, 1 lane in each direction, with a narrow shoulder on either side. One morning, I'm tooling along at about 55 miles per hour, coming over the crest of a hill. Just at that point, and hidden from view until the last second, there was a tractor trailer that had apparently stalled or broken down, leaving a warehouse complex. No driver in the cab, no lights on. The truck was perpendicular across the entire roadway. I had zero time to hit the brakes. It was right in front of me. I vividly remember thinking, this is it, I'm dead. So I shut my eyes tight and just yanked the wheel hard to the left. No crash. Eyes still shut. I yanked the wheel back to the right. Still nothing. I opened my eyes and the truck was 60 feet behind me, still perpendicular across the road. Shaking, I finished my drive in to the station and did my show. I'm now a scientist and still a skeptic. My rational mind says that I maybe fell asleep for a split second and just dreamed that part, but it was vivid then, and just as vivid now all these years later. Maybe I got lucky and my blind wheel turn just skirted the front end of the truck. If so, I survived accidentally by literally 2 or 3 inches. Or just maybe, is it a glitch in the Matrix? Case file 1793, Chaos in the Morning's Haze, the truck that vanished in a Matrix Daze. So my instinct in these situations is always to go to quantum immortality. It is the explanation that fits in almost every category. If something is off, it's because you're in a new universe, and if you think you were going to die, well, you probably did. It isn't the end as we think. It's like the video games where there's multiple lives above your head, but instead of like 3 lives in Mario or 7, however, I don't remember how many you used to have, but instead of that, you have quadrillions upon quadrillions upon quadrillions. Though I think you still die of natural aging. Maybe that is a natural conclusion of this gaming session, and then you awake in the real world when every single copy of you is dead. But it's funny, because you imagine alternate universes where they've invented immortality already, and that's bound to have happened in at least one of them. So if you're alive there, maybe you just benefit from that invention over there when you eventually go there. But that's probably in a very distant universe, so you won't get to that hop for a long time. And it's such a feature of the universe, I almost don't even consider it a glitch in the Matrix. It has the effect, the symptoms of it, but because it's so well understood at this point, it's just a fact of the universe. It's a mechanism of the universe, of the multiverse, I should say. But it doesn't make it any less interesting to read, for me anyways. Case file number 1794, written by T1856B, Disappearing over the Peugeot Crest. A few months ago, I was driving to work. I was following another vehicle in front of me. I remember the exact model. A brown Peugeot Partner. For our American friends, it's a French car. I'm French. I was following it at a reasonable distance, about 100 meters or so. About 50 meters before a T-junction, the road forms a crest over which you have no visibility. The Partner passed the crest about 2 seconds before me. We were doing 70-80 kilometers an hour. And when it was my turn to go over it, it had disappeared. I stopped at the intersection about 50 meters below the crest and couldn't find the car anywhere. There were 2 houses around me, one on each side of the road, but their driveways were clearly visible from my position, and the vehicle was not there. The intersection where I formed was a T, with one road going to the right and the other to the left. Both roads went straight for about 500 meters, and being pretty much at the top of the crest, I had a perfect view of both straight lines. It would have been impossible for the vehicle I was following to have covered those 500 meters in the 2 seconds I lost sight of it. The vehicle was also not parked in the driveways of the only 2 houses around. I did consider the possibility of an accident where the partner would have driven straight ahead, but right in front of the intersection was a large field of short grass, and there was no trace of the vehicle there either. There were no other roads or paths the car could have turned into. To this day, I still don't understand what happened to that vehicle. What do you guys think? Case answer file 1794. Disappearing over the Peugeot Crest. A fellow Frenchie. Respect. Although I'm gutter tier French from Quebec, Quebecois French, which the French over in France consider as like, almost like gypsies, in England. It's not quite proper. Whatever, I can understand the language, so take it as you will. This sounds like a old school space-time portal, and I'm guessing they happen all the time back in the day. Though if it is a military experiment, this could have been early incarnations of it. And of course, if it is military, then you're in France, meaning this is a global phenomenon, or a global test. So it's not just the US military, or government, that has this knowledge of space-time portals. Now this could have, maybe they do exist naturally as well. And I think if that's the case, it could explain a lot of missing 411 cases where people just literally vanish because that space-time portal that they cross is not artificially created and ports you out into space or deep into the earth where you just die from pressure, etc., or into the ocean and so on. I actually wonder, have they ever found a car just in the ocean? I guess cars would sink, so no, they wouldn't. Yeah. If they didn't sink, then there might just be cars washing in on the beach here and there from people disappearing and appearing into the ocean. So given the time this happened in, I'm guessing it's not military and it is a natural phenomena of a space-time portal. So that person you saw in that car, the Peugeot, may have vanished entirely off the face of the earth. Case file number 1795. Written by Careless Cherry 5169, The Phantom Greeting, a doorbell's deceptive ringing. I'll start with what happened first, and then some contextual information afterwards, because I don't want this to be all over the place. I'm prone to doing that when writing. This happened 3.5 years ago. I was in 10th grade, and my sister was in 9th. Me and my sister were in my room after school one day, making stupid videos and doing dumb crap we couldn't usually do when our mom was home. The usual misbehaving. We both heard the front door open and close, and we both heard my mother say, "Girls, I'm home." We look at each other and immediately stop what we're doing, wasting some of her medical gloves, making blow-up glove chickens, throw them to the side, and go into the living room and kitchen to greet her, and to not ever walk in to see the gloves. My door was open, which is why I was so scared. Only we don't see her, so we check her room, not there either. Check the backyard, not there either. My sister then opens the front door to check the front yard, then informs me that our mother's car isn't even in the driveway. I figured she had left the store, but I was a little put off by how fast it all happened, and hadn't heard her leave but didn't think anything of it. I called my mom to ask her if she'd come home at all. At this point, I'm in the front yard with my sister, staring at the empty driveway, as my mother tells me she hasn't even left work yet, as it was only around 4:30 something. She got off at 5. She'd gotten worried and asked why I'd called to ask if she'd come home, and so I explained. Me and my sister were very weirded out. Couldn't stop talking about it to each other for weeks afterwards because it was so weird. I still think about this a lot. Me and my sister occasionally bring it back up, and we just can't explain what happened because we both clearly heard it. It sounded so normal we truly just thought we were going to get caught, because my mom came home early. So weird. Here's some things that might help understand the situation better and provide some context. I didn't want to jumble this all throughout the telling of it. I'm not the best at telling or writing things cohesively. The house was an open floor plan, so the kitchen and living room was all one area. There was a little hallway kind of thing that separated the rooms on that side, the one closest to the front door from the living room, so I could easily hear the door but not see it. The front door had a small foyer kind of bit as well. Me and my sister rode the bus home and got home around 3:30 every day, and my mom at 5, give or take, so we had that time to ourselves. We did have carbon monoxide detectors. I had actually brought this incident up with a friend once, where they brought up carbon monoxide as a possible explanation. And while it makes the most sense that carbon monoxide could explain this, how both me and my sister heard this when we did have functional detectors, we just don't know. Case also file 1795. The phantom greeting, a doorbell's deceptive ringing. Making chicken fingers with medical gloves, I think I've done that once. I don't remember where. Brings back a vibe, if you will. But you do get a lot of these stories where people's family, friends sometimes, siblings, they come home, but they're not really there. Fathers, brothers, etc. It's just their soul projecting home, probably because that person is actively thinking about being there. There's some other catalyst involved. It's not just thought, but thought is probably required. A strong focus on a specific place, or maybe specific people and where those people are. So that orients the soul where to go, but it doesn't activate it to separate from the host body. I don't know what does. Is it a specific place in space-time? That where you cross it, it's like a space-time portal for your soul? And I don't know if there's any clear sign of where it is, because the story is never focused from the person experiencing the splitting of their soul, temporarily. It's always from the people who see them later on, at home or wherever. But definitely something triggers it, because if not, people would experience this all the time, every day. Your husband is at work and thinking about you. You're not experiencing this every day where he's coming home earlier than he's supposed to, and he never actually came home. So again, thought is just the compass orienting the soul, the vector, but what causes the split, don't know. I would love to find out one day, because that would be kind of fun to, if you could replicate it and control it, that would be bonkers. Now time for the quote of the day. Happiness is not achieved by the conscious pursuit of happiness. It is generally the byproduct of other activities. Aldous Huxley. I mean, you see this with so many things. You see this with exercise and working out. Increasing your physical body's capability makes you happier. Not just the chemicals released and all that, though that is part of it. It's also just knowing that you're stronger, that you accomplished something. I find that meaning and happiness tend to go together, especially you need to have some reason to exist. Now, they could be simple reasons. It could be as simple as enjoying food and spending time with family and giving them a good life. You need to work towards something, to have some goal. If you're ever playing a game and you realize, what am I doing? There's no point to this. What is my goal? Well, you see that all the time in sandbox MMOs, where it's just, if you don't have a goal, then you're wandering aimlessly and you're not having fun at all. If you have a goal, though, even if the minute-to-minute gameplay is not the most exciting, it's okay, because you're working towards something. And life is just a giant sandbox MMO. So have a goal, focus on it, have different side objectives, and work on those too. And you will find that you're way happier. What was that idea of send someone who's depressed to the gym and have them earn a six-pack, being lean and fit. And by the time they have that, are they still depressed? I think most of the time, no. Outside of genuine medical conditions, brain imbalances. And I think even then, working out could help to alleviate those imbalances. So it's not a fix-all, but it's a good place to start. Like the video, subscribe, hit the bell. Kinetic Symphony signing off.